the St Olives Bridge, and some of you guys might recognise this bridge. You can have this for the biomass. The pilgrimage to the pump house! There she is! Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video you join me just under the St Olives Bridge here, just on the edge of the Broads National Park. We need to head down to our marshes over at Fritton and Caldecott, and we need to check that they're okay and that we're going to still have some grass for this summer. And if you could help me out and give this video a thumbs up, I would appreciate that, guys. Thank you for all of your support in these difficult times. So welcome to the Broads National Park. We're now just coming over the St Olives Bridge, and some of you guys might recognise this bridge from the Olly's Farm videos when we previously had the 6930 when I was picking up the sheep. And go and check that video out if you haven't. So this is what I get to see when we come and drop off the cattle, pick up the cattle, check the animals, check the livestock. And in the summer it is quite something. This time of the year it is very windy, very bleak and very cold. And just on the right there, that's the Johnson Yachts boatyard, and just after we had the 6300, that's where we picked up the 6930 from. We did a deal with the local boat owner there and we bought the 6930 from there, so a little history lesson there. So this is the road we use to come and pick up the silage. And one of the problems we have when we bring the silage down this road every year is there's quite a lot of cars on the road, and as you can see today there are quite a few cars down here by the marshes, because people come down here to walk their dogs and to go out with their families. And as you can see, it is very busy down here today. There's a lot of cars, so that's one of the access areas we go in to check the cattle, and we won't be going down in that way today with the up. And you can see the problem coming down here with the John Deere and the trailer. Luckily that's the Slim Manitou will be okay, but I mean that Audi there is just parked halfway in the middle of the road, so it's quite a difficult task getting through here with the John Deere when we as farmers have got a job to do picking up the silage, which is really important because it's what feeds the cattle and the horses in the winter. I think if people would just understand what we have to do, that we've got to do a job, I think we would hopefully be able to get people to just move their cars out of the way a bit. But yeah, it is a big problem. I mean, I have to come down here, I've had to come down here today to check on the marshes, and we're all COVID secure today. There's nobody with me, and we are carrying out a job for the farm. So this is essential work, making sure that this farmland is in good condition, ready for the springtime when the calves and the cattle and the sheep go out to these pastures here. So we just flew the drone back. That was lucky. That was probably one of the scariest flights of my drone flying career so far. So I'm just going to walk down now to the first couple of fields, and I just want to check them out on foot. So the drone's done most of the job. I know they're not that badly flooded. We've got saturation of water in the marshes. I hope you guys saw on the footage, we flew by the pump house, and the pump house is very important because the pump house houses a Swedish turbine which controls the pump levels. It's got a computer in there which monitors the levels, and to change the levels we have to change them manually, so we have to go down into the pump house. At the moment it's set on to auto, so it's automatically monitoring the level and keeping them at the same height. Now this is the bottom track which comes into the first silage field, and as you will see we've had quite a few trees falling over here from the wind. Tell you what I'm thinking for this: biomass. And if you guys could help me out with these videos and with farming really, and remember all of these jobs which we've got to do, list them down and let me know in the comments in future videos when there's jobs up and coming, when jobs have got to be done. Let me know about things like this which I mentioned, because even I can forget about them sometimes. So I'll write that down, I'll put that down on the list. Pick this log up, there's a couple other trees down there, a few more logs to go for the biomass. In the middle of this field here we've got a dike which runs through it, and it's come up quite high, and I think that's why we've got a bit of saturation on this side of the field where it's just come over slightly, but it's not actually too bad. Decided to go to the pump house just to check on that. The pilgrimage to the pump house! There she is! And so here we are. So this is the pump house, and this is what controls the levels on the marshes. This is why they're not completely flooded. That's the pump system just inside there, and then this is where it all happens. This is where the magic happens. So I'll just drop you guys in gently. That there is the guard which stops material from going through it and then getting clogged in the pump. So that's the reason why these marshes are still green. It's because the little turbine in there, the pump, is sucking all of the water in, putting it through this turbine here, going through the guard, it's coming through here, through the pump, the turbine, and then once it goes through the turbine, it then gets pumped underground here, and then up over the river wall. The river wall stops the river from coming up, and then there it is, the river, yeah. So that's where it then heads off. So that's where all the water's being pumped to. And this was originally developed many, many years ago, centuries ago, by the Dutch. The Dutch developed this system of pumping off land and keeping it dry in order to have pastures to feed grass to cattle. That's what it was originally developed for. This used to actually be a windmill, and it's now a pump house. You can just see the cog on the top there, hopefully. So that's its job. And these are all of our marshes on the farm. So these are very important to maintain and to keep, because without these marshes, we wouldn't have any livestock. They wouldn't have anything to eat in the summer, and they wouldn't have anything to eat in the winter because we harvest grass from them. So very important. And welcome to Norfolk as well. I talk a lot in my videos about farming and about what goes on, but welcome to Norfolk, and it's what it's famous for. Norfolk originally had pump houses, windmills, and because Norfolk's very flat, the windmills had a lot of wind to turn the turbines to grind flour, and they would also operate mechanical pumps. So that pump now, the pump we've got, it operates off electricity, but in years gone by it would have actually operated off a mechanical windmill system. And in 2021 the Broads are still serving a purpose. Because the Broads are so remote and out of the way, it's created a natural habitat for wildlife. And walking down in the Broads, you'll see geese, swans, ducks, all sorts of different birds and different species of animals. And then there's also the grass. The grass is serving a purpose for the red poll cattle on the farm, which are native to Norfolk. The red polls graze the marshes, which gives them energy, which they then convert to meat, and then it gives us, as humans, for our civilization, for society, it gives us beef. So they are serving a very important purpose down here, and the pump house does a very important job of maintaining these water levels just down here. And so do all of the other pump houses all across the Broads National Park. And without the Broads, without the pump houses and the hard-working farmers monitoring the pump houses, there would be quite a lot of villages underwater, flooded. So that pump house and all of the other pump houses are doing a very important job, keeping the water off the land, pumping it back into the river, where it then goes out to sea and it's then gotten rid of. So people in the village just up there in Baxton and Belton, they won't have any water in their gardens or in their houses, thanks to all the pump houses and all the farmers operating them and keeping them in good working order. And oh, that was good, checking the marshes. We know that they're in good condition, and that in the next couple of months when we put the cattle down there, they're going to have something to eat. The grass is not all died. We'll also take the sheep down there as well. So that's something to look forward to, some positive news. And then, as I said earlier on in today's video, there's a couple of logs down there which I would like to get picked up, and they can be used in the biomass store. So we're going to dry them out, get them chipped, and then burn them in the boiler to then heat the farmhouse and heat the houses on the farm to give people hot water. So instead of using oil in the farmhouse and in the houses, we're now using wood. And if we can get more waste wood rather than buying wood in, then that's a win-win, because we're helping the environment out, and then we're also not having to spend so much money on wood. I hope today I was able to give you some insight. Despite the wind and despite the weather, flying the drone was very, very interesting. I did lose a drone last year and it was completely destroyed, and that cost me about £1,000 to replace. So I really do have to be careful with the drones and go very steady. So if the shots weren't high quality or cinematic enough, it's because I really didn't want to have that drone crash today, because I cannot afford to keep crashing drones. And if you could help me out with this video and give it a thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. Thank you for all of your continued support with the channel. We're really growing now. We're heading towards 100,000 subscribers. That's the goal, 100k, hopefully in the next 6 months. Check out the Olly's Farm merch, the I'd Rather Be Farming merch. Just got the jumper on the way in the next couple of days, so keep an eye out for that. And guys, we're in it to win it. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will catch you on the next one.